Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the more advanced pull options. So that involves options that relate to rotate, sweep, and draft. I'll also be showing you how to scale a solid using pull. So we'll start off by focusing on our rotate options. And I'm going to sketch a line and sketch a circle. So now usually if you were going to rotate a circle about a line, you'd basically create a torus. So we'll choose the surface, choose our rotate option, and pick that line. And you can see that torus starts to be created. But our rotate option actually allows me to create a helix. So notice when I select that, we now have a height and a pitch that appears. And I can hit spacebar and type in a value for the height and the pitch, and now I've actually created a spring. So it revolves it around, but also revolves it up at the same time. So we'll show one more example of this. It will actually revolve this little surface around our cylinder. So instead of typing in a value like I did before, I can still revolve it and create that helix in real time by dragging that surface up or down. But maybe instead of adding material, I wanted to cut material away to create the threads on this cylinder. So by choosing cut, I can actually drag it up and create those necessary threads. So now we're going to be moving on, and we're going to be focusing on the options that are located in sweep. So I have set up a box with a rounded edge. So I want to take this surface and sweep it along that top edge. So I can just Alt select this top surface and sweep gets highlighted. And you'll see that normal to trajectory is there in the sweep options. So I'm going to turn that off for now and let you see how it sweeps normally. So if I start to drag the sweep along, notice that when I start getting towards the top, the sweep actually fails. And if I rotate this a little bit, you can see why that it failed. So once it gets to the top, it can't sweep around to the other side. But if I click normal to trajectory, it keeps that surface normal at all times when it goes around bends. So that allows me to sketch around and back to the same location it started in, creating a quick little lip on this box. So now we're going to go to our third example, and we'll focus on draft. So I'm going to draft the sides of this box, but let's say it's a molded box, and I'm actually going to create a parting line through the middle. So I'll put a plane in there by selecting the top and the bottom of the box. So I'll select the sides that I want to draft, and I'll actually Alt select the surface, or not the surface, the plane I should say. And now I can draft about that plane on all four sides. And normally if I draft, notice it'll draft one way out or one way in. But let's escape out of this, and now I'm going to click the Draft Both Sides button under the Draft options. So that basically allows me to draft both sides at once in opposite directions. So I can draft them both in, or I can draft them both out. So I would mainly probably use this in mold making. So now let's focus on the last change I wanted to make, and that's scaling something. So to scale a solid in Spaceclaim, select the entire solid by box selecting or triple clicking, and then Alt select a point that you want to remain still. And so that will basically become the fulcrum point. So now if I drag one way or the other, it'll scale it bigger or smaller, keeping that point where it is in space. So let's type in a value of 3. So now we have a solid that's scaled 3 times as big. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned a little bit more of the advanced pull options.